You are tuned into Bethel, BHG TV. Another Bethel House of God ministry.
Thank you for tuning into Bethel, BHG TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Now our host, Pastor Johnson.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. The smartest class on earth. At least that's what I think. That's how I feel about you all. The smartest class on earth, right here at Bethel BHG TV. Welcome everybody to class tonight. As always, we're going to have a very intriguing time. We're going to be looking and breaking down that word. We're going to be taking our time looking down that word. It's only going to be 1 hour tonight. That's it. Because I want you to be able to go back and look at this lesson, evaluate this lesson without going through too much time. And that's how I want to do that as best as I possibly can. Let's do some shout outs in the chat room. Let's go all the way up. Sister Katrina in the chat room. Sister Linda Jones Vickers in the chat room, one of our candidates for baptism this Sabbath at 9 o'clock. We're going to the Atlantic Ocean, everybody. Brother Canson Ming, how you doing, Brother Canson? Brother Canson, we were at a conference up in Philadelphia, and Brother Canson got baptized at the hotel swimming pool. Let me tell you, it was just awesome. Sister Barbara Benton, one of our candidates for baptism this coming weekend. Brother Lawrence Colburn, how you doing, my brother? Alva Ellis, how you doing? Earlene Williams, shout out, shout out. Cheruta Amina, shout out. Coach, our moderator, is in the room tonight. Sister Gwen Adams, and you all know how we do the Facebook side. If you're here on the Facebook side, we just like to just do a little something special, just to say hello to everybody that's over there on our Facebook side. And we're going to do that right now by giving a big round of applause. Oh, yeah. Let's go to our Facebook side. There is Brother Tobiah Vickers, also a candidate this weekend for baptism. There's Brother Mark P. in the room. Brother Mark P., Sister Katrina, I think I may have gotten her. Sister Peggy Russell. Y'all see how much real estate Coach be taking up? Look at all the real estate. She takes up that real estate because she's going to say hello to everybody in the chat room. That's what she does. That's what she does. Sister Peggy Russell. How you doing, Sister Peggy? There's Sister Tiffany Israel Williams is in the house. On the Facebook side, you all, wait a minute, hold up. Coach was, no, it was just Tiffany Israel was our next person on the Facebook side. Come on, let's do it, y'all. Facebook, we're trying to build up that Facebook audience over there. Let's see, we got Brother Kevin Yates is in the house. Brother Daniel Edgerton up in Chicago, no, not Chicago, Illinois. How you doing, my brother? Glad that you're here with us and glad you're with us tonight. Welcome to class. Brother Canson said, yes, I was baptized in a swimming pool, Pastor. My wife, yes. Sister Kelly, let me tell you something. It was just something beautiful, brothers and sisters. It was just beautiful. What an awesome time we had up in Philadelphia. Just a great, awesome time. Sister Peggy Russell, Alva, Barbara Benton, let's see, Kevin Yates, Coach, everybody. All right. I always tell Brother Edgerton, I'm getting up there, Brother Edgerton. I know what you and Brother Mario got going up there, and I'm going to be up there, brother. I got to make my first stop in St. Mary's, Georgia first, but I will be coming up. I will be coming up, my brother. Sister Donna Panquin, how you doing? I hope I'm saying your last name right. Paquin. That's it. Greetings to you, Sister Donna. Thank you for being here tonight. And to all of you all in the chat room tonight. All right. To our moderators. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Okay. All right. Sister Deborah Cotton coming in the room. All right, Sister Deborah. Glad that you're here with us. Welcome to class tonight. All right, now we're going to get started here. And we're going to get right into this lesson. Tonight's lesson is the signs of the false prophet. This is why this is important. Because today I was speaking to Brother Julius on the phone, and somebody was talking about Russia and China and everything that's going on. It's getting ready to go down. It's going down. Brothers and sisters, you're not dealing with any of the vials of wrath right now. You're not dealing with any of the seals right now. The first seal is not open until Revelations, the 6th chapter, when the false prophet shows up. And then we learn, and we're going to learn tonight, the false prophet is only going to be in power for 3.5 years. That is what we call the 3.5 year tribulation. There is no 7-year tribulation. And we're going to cover all of that tonight, right here in this lesson. So let's get started, and let's go where we need to go at so we can get to the root and the bottom of this lesson. And I think the best place to start is we need to hear from the Messiah himself. And maybe perhaps we may believe what he said regarding this subject. So let's go over here. And we talked about last night that there were certain questions that the disciples asked, and they wanted to know when will be the sign of your coming and the end of the world. That was two of three questions that they wanted to know. And I'm not going to go into that tonight, but except for verse 3. I want to go into verse 3, Matthew 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? That's question number 1. And what shall be the sign of thy coming? That's question number 2, and the end of the world. Now, we talked about being deceived and the deception. We're not going to go into that tonight. And we talked about the fact that you're going to hear of wars and rumors of wars. Don't be troubled. Nation's going to be rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There's going to be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, volcanoes too, brothers and sisters. All of those things are just the beginning of sorrows. But I want to skip down here in verse 15. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet. This is Jesus saying this himself. That's why we titled the lesson tonight. Did I change? There it goes. I want to make sure I got the right subject up. That's why we titled the lesson tonight, The Signs of the False Prophet. When you shall see the abomination of desolation. The abomination of desolation is this. Whenever you do anything that is abominable, and you can only do something that's abominable when you go against the word of God, that is an abomination. So he says, when you shall see the abomination of the desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. We know where the holy place is, brothers and sisters. It is Jerusalem. That's the holy place. That's where Zerubbabel is going to build the temple when Jesus returns. In that first resurrection, Zerubbabel, according to the prophets, and his crew will build the temple. Okay? Now, we're not talking about the third temple that's going to be built by the Gentiles. We're not talking about that one. We're talking about after that third temple, all of that stuff is going to be destroyed when Jesus returns at the first resurrection. What he did say, because this is what, when it's in red, this is the Messiah talking. He says, whoso readeth, let him understand. This is the big problem because, first of all, people will read this and never go back to Daniel to see what Daniel said. The other thing is, you're not going to get teaching about the abomination of desolation on a Sunday. You're not going to get this. But the scripture says, you need to understand. So whosoever reads, let him understand. It's important that you understand this. He wants you to understand this. It's incumbent upon you to understand this. As a light to the nations, you should understand this. This is something you shouldn't run away from. You need to grasp it. You need to understand it. You need to learn it. You need to dissect it like we're going to tonight. And you need to really do what the Messiah said. Jesus said, whoso readeth, let him understand. Because this was a question that the disciples asked. When should these things be? What should be the signs of thy coming and the end of the world? Everybody wants to know this. Everybody is asking this question even today. But all you got to do is go back and read what Jesus said. He's telling you. Everybody's got all sorts of concocted theories, conspiracy theories, how the end of the world is going to be in the sign of his coming. When he's telling you right now, because when the disciples came and said unto him privately, tell us when these things are going to be. One of the things they were talking about, when should these things be, was talking about what happened in 70 AD. Well, that's over with, because that no stone is sitting upon that temple. Not even today. Not even today. They got a wall. I don't know where that wall came from. But all I know is what the scripture says. Not one stone shall be standing upon another. And he was right. And that happened in 70 AD when Titus came in through there and wiped everything out. The third temple is the next temple. And that's when you shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place. If you want to understand, you got to go read. If you don't read, how you go understand? This is why people are trying to figure out Revelation when you cannot understand Revelation, what John is saying, until you understand what the prophets were saying. You got to go back. You got to go back and read. But reading is like kryptonite is to Superman with some people. They don't want to read. And our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So that's why we're looking at this tonight, the signs of the false prophet. And he's telling us, if you want to know when he's going to come, the sign of his coming, and the end is right here. Then let them go into Judea. I'm going to skip that because I really want to get down to right here. After that, there's going to be great tribulation. And we know, and we're going to learn tonight, how long that tribulation is. Because that tribulation does not start until this starts. So let's go read the abomination of the desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet. That's the number one best place to go at. If you want to know, let's go read what Daniel had to say about this. Because he told you there's an assumption that Matthew, Mark, let me just say this. There's an assumption that when Jesus is talking, that you're reading the scriptures. That's why he says, whosoever readeth, let him understand. When you go back and read the abomination of the desolation spoken by Daniel, stand in the holy place. That's the future. That's the future, because that's what they wanted to know. When shall be the end of the world and the sign of that coming? He's telling you where to go find what's going to happen at the end, when he returns at the end. It's the future, not now. It's at the end. See, these are things we got to think about. We got to analyze this and just let it make sense, because if he says, when you shall see the abomination of the desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, well, that is the answer to their question. I want to go back up here to the answer to their question right now. I want to go back up here. Tell us when these things should be. That already happened. Talking about when one stone will not be left upon the other. But listen, let's go right here. And what shall be the sign of your coming? They're talking about his second coming. They're talking about when the angel said in the book of Acts, "Why stand ye here gazing up?" When Jesus ascended into the clouds, they said, this same Jesus that you see go up into the clouds, the same Jesus is going to return in the clouds. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, these books were not written during these days. These brothers wrote these books and the account of the testimony to the prophets later. That's why they're writing in the way that they're writing. They're going back and recalling and they're remembering. So they're putting everything together because they understand now who he is. So the only scriptures, brothers and sisters, was the books of Moses, which is the first 5 books, the prophets, the Psalms, and all of the scriptures. That's it. So when you look at that and he says they want to know what's going to be the sign of your coming and the end of the world, there was no book of Revelation. John, as we say, John the Revelator hadn't even wrote a book during this time. So you got to go back. If you want to know what is going to be the sign of his coming and the end of the world, back then, he's referring you to a book where you can get the answer. So that's what we have to do. And once you understand that, see, the world don't understand this, so that's why they're psychoanalyzing what's going to happen. And then he says, when you shall see the abomination of the desolation. I like the way Jesus puts this. First of all, he shows you a series of things that's going to happen. People, the hearts of many are going to wax cold. We're living in that time. The gospel's got to be preached into all the world for a witness unto all the nations. We're doing that right now. Wars and rumors of wars, kingdoms against kingdoms, and all of that. We're living in that. Pestilence, disease, we're living in that. From the time that he gave that to right now, we're in that right now. All of that stuff is going on. And he tells you, right over here, let's go over here real quick. He says, the end is not yet. All of these things is just the beginning of sorrows. All of these nations going up against each other, the end's not yet. But this gospel has to go out, and that's what we're doing. And then shall the end come. And then he's going to tell you how you should know. When you see this, the abomination of the desolation spoken by Daniel, stand in that holy place. Now you got to read, and then you got to go get some understanding. If y'all ready, let's say, somebody type in the chat room, let's go talk to Daniel. Type in the chat room, let's go talk to Daniel. That's what I want to do. Let's go talk to Daniel. If you're ready to find out what Jesus said right here, what he meant, type in the chat room, let's go talk to Daniel. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk to Daniel, because that's when he says read and understand. See, Jesus, in all of his spiritual intelligence, he's telling you how to know. There's no analyzing. There's no guessing. There's no puzzle. There's no mystery. Just simply go back and read. That's why he says, whosoever read, let him understand. So if you're ready, let's go talk to Daniel. Here we go. Sister Barbara Benton, let's go talk to Daniel. Brother Ryan, let's go talk to Daniel. Sister Kimberly Whitaker, let's go talk to Daniel. Because that's what we're going to have to do tonight. We're going to have to talk to Daniel. Because whosoever readeth, let him understand. This is why people do echo chamber talking. They say, well, I thought it was a 7-year tribulation. Are you sure, Pastor Johnson? I always ask people, here's the book. I brought my Bible in here tonight. Here's the book. Show me 7-year tribulation. Show it to me, because you're not going to find it. I don't care what kind of books you read. I don't care what the preacher says. They better have some book, chapter, and verse to substantiate anything they say. This is separates the wheat from the tares. This is cutting edge right down the line that you got to go and know what you're talking about, brothers and sisters. Everybody say, here we go. Let's go talk. Everybody put in here already. Let's go talk to Daniel. Let's go talk to Daniel. Everybody, let's go. There we are. We're going to go talk to Daniel right now. And that's how we have to study this book. We're going to have to see what Daniel the prophet is saying. And we're going to go over there right now. Because Daniel had some insight. And let's go to that insight in Daniel, the 7th chapter. Because that's where Jesus told us to go. That's where he told the disciples, if you want to know, go there and look at it. So let's go. Here we go. I'm going to skip some because Belshazzar was the king of Babylon. And Daniel had a dream and visions on his head, and he wrote them. This is why the scripture says when you have a dream, just write it. Do like Daniel did, write it. And he told us some of the matters. Daniel speaking said, I saw in my visions, I'm not going to read all of what Daniel saw, but I want to go all the way down to the fact that Daniel saw a lion, he saw a bear right here, and he saw a leopard. And after that, he saw something that really tripped him out. And that was the 4th beast. Dreadful, terrible, strong, exceeding, great iron teeth. They devoured broken pieces, stamped the residue. Now, we know already, brothers and sisters, I've did other lessons, that the lion is Babylon. The bear is the Medes and the Persians, and the leper is Greece. We know who the 4th beast is because encyclopedia history tells us it was Rome that defeated Greece. So this 4th beast is a system. It's a theology. Sorry about that. That came and has coming out of Rome. And he's going to have 10 horns. Now, we're going to learn in the scriptures tonight because Daniel was told to close the book, but then John got an interpretation of what those 10 horns are. And we're going to go into that tonight too. Now, then he says this. We're going to skip down. All the way down to verse 15. Because this dream bothered Daniel. It bothered him. It bothered him a lot. This 4th beast bothered Daniel. It just something he could not shake about this 4th beast. And the reason why is because this 4th beast was diverse from all of the other beasts. Different. It bothered him. This beast bothered him. And because the beast bothered him, he let Daniel know something about the 4th beast. There was some good news after the 4th beast, but Daniel, tell me more. Let's read the good news that Daniel had after the 4th beast. Listen to this. He tells Daniel that it devoured, it broke in pieces, it stamped the residue with the feet of it. It was diverse from all of the beasts that were before it because it had 10 horns. And then Daniel says, and I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. That's who we're going to talk about tonight. But before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in his horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Signs is our lesson tonight. Signs of the false prophet. Signs number 1. He's a man, and he's got a mouth that's going to speak great things. Let me tell you what great things is. That's when you say something that everybody likes. They just think it's the best idea. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Everybody don't mind following this person leading this system because they talk good, got a good game, talk a good game, got the answers for everything, solution for all world global problems. False prophet. Signs of the false prophet. Speaking great things. And listen to this. And I beheld till the thrones were cast down, the ancients of days did sit, whose garment was white as snow. So we know that according to Daniel, that however long, and we're going to know how long in a minute, that this 4th beast is going to be in power. Immediately after his power, the Ancient of Days is going to sit, whose garment is white as snow. We know who this is. This is Christ. And his hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as a burning fire. This is talking about Christ when he comes after this individual with eyes like a man speaking great things. He's only going to be in power for a little bit. But then Jesus is going to come. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000s stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. It's talking about when Jesus is sitting on the throne of David, ruling all the kingdoms of the world during that 1,000-year millennium in the 7,000 years. And listen to what he tells Daniel. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain. So now when he says, I'm listening to the voice of the great words which that horn spoke, that horn that is going to be in power before Christ comes. See, this dream bothered Daniel. Although there was good news that he's not going to be in power long. The Ancient of Days is going to come, and he's going to sit down. He's going to take over the world, and thousands times thousands are going to minister him, 10,000 times 10,000s, and the books are going to be open. Daniel wants to go back to the time before Jesus comes. He's very inquisitive about this. He's very concerned. This is bothering him because this is a dreadful beast. This horn is very dreadful. Teeth that devours. This thing bothers Daniel. Although there's good news, I have a bad feeling about this guy, this horn. So he says, I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain. I'm listening to all of this until he was slain, his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. Yes, brothers and sisters, this beast, this horn, is going to be cast into the lake of fire. This beast is even going to make it to the lake of fire before Satan makes it to the lake of fire. Somebody say, how you know that? Because immediately after the tribulation, when Jesus comes, he's going to deal with this beast. He's going straight to the lake of fire. He's not going to pass go. He's not going to collect $200. He's going straight to the lake of fire. Satan, in the meantime, is bound for 1,000 years. But remember, he's going to be loose for a little season. But before that happens, this beast, his body is going to be destroyed, as the scripture says, and he's going to be given to the burning flame. He makes it before Jesus. He makes it before Jesus puts Satan in there. He makes it before those whose names are not found written in the Lamb's book of life. They're going to be cast into the lake of fire along with Satan. This guy here makes it before everybody else does. Listen to this. And I beheld even till the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. Now listen to this. Now, as concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. And I saw in the night visions, and behold, one, listen to this, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given unto him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all the people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. That is the Ancient of Days. After that individual, that horn, is cast into the lake of fire. Now let's find out some more about that. Now Daniel says, I was grieved in my spirit. I hear all the good news, but I was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body. And the visions of my head troubled me. This thing bothered me. And I came near unto one of them that stood by, and I asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, he says, I'm going to make you know the interpretation of the thing. See, this is why we got to listen. This is why we got to read. This is why Jesus sent us back to this book in Daniel. Whosoever readeth, let him understand. When you see the abomination of the desolation spoken by Daniel stand in the holy place, whosoever readeth, let him read and understand. Because Daniel got understanding. Listen to this. These great beasts, you know, the lion, the bear, the leopard, and this fourth beast that don't nobody know who that is. We know who it is today, because whoever defeats the third beast, which is Greece, is automatically the fourth beast. Listen to this. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. So we know who they are. Babylon, Medes and the Persians, Greece, and Rome. That's it, brothers and sisters. There's only going to be 4 kingdoms that rule the earth. Now somebody's going to say, well, wait a minute, Pastor Johnson, Rome ain't running nothing. Rome is not in charge. America's in charge. And before that, Britain was in charge. Europe, no. Rome cannot be in charge. Well, let's go back and look at it. Let's go back and read. That's why he says, whosoever read, let him read and understand. Listen to this. Let's go back up here and you tell me this. Let's go back up here and read. Because he told us something about that fourth beast that we should take into consideration. Listen to this. This fourth beast, you want to understand. After this I saw in my night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, a dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake into pieces, stamped with the residue with the feet of it. It was diverged from all the beasts that were before it. How is Rome different? Because Rome is in charge today. Oh yeah, Rome is in charge today. Somebody's going to say, well, how is Rome in charge today? Because all of world ideology and theology comes from Rome. It's all coming from Rome. Christmas comes from Rome. Sunday comes from Rome. Paganism comes from Rome. Easter, Christmas, you can eat anything you want to. Sunday worship, all of that came from Rome. And everybody's following Rome. Right now, today, everybody, I don't care if you're Baptist, I don't care if you're Kojic, I don't care what denomination you are. When you walk in there on the first day of the week and call that your Sabbath, when Jesus says, remember the Sabbath to keep it holy, that's the commandments that he gave us. And it's the last day of the week that he wants you to remember the Sabbath. But now, you see, the abomination of the desolation does the opposite of whatever God writes. Now, first, the seventh day, the last day of the week, the last day of seven, the seventh day is not the Sabbath. We're going to make it the first day. Because that's how trifling Satan is. He takes the very opposite of whatever you say. If the Lord says right, Satan says, no, we're going to the left. If the Lord says, listen, there's 7 days in a week. I want y'all to make the last day a Sabbath. I want you to work 6 days and then rest on the last day. Satan got you doing something else. No. We're going to rest first and then we'll work. See, that's trifling. That's trifling. That's who he is. He's very trifling, very contrary. Very contrary. And his doctrine is contrary. This is what I want you to eat. No. You can eat anything. It's not what goes into the mouth that defiles a man. It's what comes out. You can eat anything you want to. You see, this is why Daniel says, I need more information about this beast. Let's read this. Because it's exceedingly strong, iron teeth. And so that's why Rome is in charge today. Rome is in charge because everybody is doing Rome. Listen to this. Daniel said, I was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and I asked him the truth of this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts are four kings which are going to rise out of the earth. But don't worry, Daniel, because the saints of the Most High is going to take the kingdom. But but they're going to set up in the kingdom. They're going to build a third temple. Don't worry about that. The saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and they're going to possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. So don't worry about this fourth beast. But he's dreadful and he's terrible and he's diverse from all the other beasts in the land. Don't worry about it, Daniel, because the saints of the Most High is going to possess the kingdom. Listen to this, verse number 19. Daniel said, because he's not satisfied. And you know, if you saw it and you had the feeling that Daniel had, you might be asking the same questions. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, stamped with the residue of his feet. Got 10 horns that were in his head, and the other which came up, and before them three fell. Even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke. Listen to this, because this is the last one. This other horn comes out from among them. Because what about him? He has eyes. He had eyes and a mouth that spoke great things. Whose look was more stout than his fellows. Everybody liked him. Everybody agreed with him. Everybody gave him approval. But guess what? This same horn is going to make war with the saints. Not only is he going to make war with them, he's going to prevail against them. Oh yeah, he's going to make war and he will prevail. He's going to win. How do we know that? Because Jesus told you right here in Matthew. He told you what was going to happen. He told you there's going to be a time like this that you have never seen before. See, everybody keeps worrying about what's going on now and this going on. Oh, the plagues. Oh, it's happening. No, you need to read what Jesus said. Listen to this. For then there should be a great tribulation, such as what was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, no flesh is going to be saved. But just for the elect's sake, he's going to shorten those days. So when we go back to Daniel, this thing bothered Daniel, brothers and sisters. It bothered Daniel, class. It bothered him. Because this horn had a look who was more stout than those that came before him. And that he's going to make war with the saints and he's going to prevail. How long is he going to prevail? Until the Ancient of Days came. And then judgment is going to be given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints are going to possess the kingdom. Now let's look at this for a second, because how do we know this? How do we know that he's going to make war with the saints? Because Jesus told him there's going to be a time like you never have seen before. But then he also says, and immediately after the tribulation of those days, right here, the sun's going to be dark, the moon's not going to give her light, the stars going to be fall from heaven, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man of heaven. Because the saints are going to be coming back with him, because as he is descending, the saints are going to ascend and become spirit, and those are his saints. And we're going to return and possess the kingdom. And all the tribes of the earth are going to mourn. That's what we covered last night. Because what we're learning, brothers and sisters, what we are learning is something that you can only go and read from the prophets. And after all of this, when he's telling Daniel, don't worry, Ancient of Days is going to come, the saints are going to possess the kingdom. But listen to this in verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all the kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth. How does Rome devour the whole earth? How is Rome doing that right now? Christmas, Easter, Sunday Sabbath, the first day. You can eat anything you want to. It's all about love. The commandments have been nailed to the cross. See, all of this comes from one place, brothers and sisters. Did I mention Easter bunny rabbits laying eggs? Mistletoes? A birth? Jesus says, for often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death till he comes. No. Contradicting Mr. Trifling Satan don't want you to put emphasis on his death. He wants you to put emphasis on a birthday that don't exist. That's how trifling he is. Very trifling. very trifling, very contradicting. Just the opposite of whatever he gives us. He's diverse from all of the kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And listen to what he tells Daniel. You know those horns and the 10 horns out of his kingdom are 10 kings. See, I told you we're going to find out what those 10 horns are. They're 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. So after you got these 10 kings or 10 kingdoms, there's going to be another. Listen to this. He shall be diverse from the first, and shall subdue 3 kings. He shall speak, listen to this. He's going to speak great words against the Most High. He's going to work out the saints of the Most High. Well, oh yeah, when he starts up, he's already doing this now, but he's not doing it out of Rome. Out of Jerusalem. Oh, he already got everything set. He's already changed times and laws. Somebody said, what do you mean he's changed times and laws? He's changed times and laws, brothers and sisters. Feast days don't exist. You don't have to do that no more. No more holy days. We got holidays. Well, when are our holidays? Well, we got Good Friday. That's a holiday. We got Easter Sunday morning. We got the kids laying bunny rabbits, laying eggs and Easter egg hunting. And we got the Christmas tree and the mistletoe and the stockings around the chimney. And we're just celebrating a birth that don't even exist in the Bible, a birth date that don't even exist in the Bible. We put less emphasis on his death and more emphasis on his birth and a date that does not exist in the scriptures when he told us to recognize his death. Because his death is important, because he shed his blood for the remission of our sins. And the Lord have laid upon him the iniquity of us all. But no, Satan don't want you to know that. He wants you to remember what he has laid out. So this beast is speaking great words against the Most High. How do you speak great words against the Most High? When you proclaim something in opposition to what the Lord has written. And he's going to wear out the saints of the Most High. Is he? Yes. And he's going to think to change times and laws? Yes. And how long are we going to be in his hands? Because Jesus said over here in Matthew, there's going to be a great tribulation. He told us, when you shall see the abomination of the desolation spoken by Daniel stand in the holy place, how long is that going to be? That's what I want to know. That's what everybody wants to know. Because he says when that happens, there's going to be a great tribulation, such as not was since the beginning of the world, nor to this time, nor shall ever be. So how long is that going to be? Well, he told Daniel. Listen to what he told Daniel. And they shall be given into his hand until a time, by prophecy we know that's a year, and times, that's 2 years, plus a year, that's 3 years. And the dividing of time, if you divide a year, that's 6 months. That's 3.5 years. That's how come we know that there's going to be a 3.5 year tribulation. That's why he said, whosoever readeth, let him understand. Go back and read Daniel. That's what we're doing right now. We're reading Daniel. We're doing exactly what Jesus told us to do, brothers and sisters. He said, go back over here and read Daniel. You want to know what's going to happen? You want to know what the end of the world and the sign of his coming is? Go over there and read Daniel. And we're reading Daniel. And we're reading a 3.5 year tribulation. And we're also reading that Jesus says, and immediately after the tribulation. Immediately after the tribulation. Immediately after the 3.5 years. He's going to return. So that's why he told Daniel, don't worry about that. There's going to be the fourth beast, but don't worry. He's going to go in and he's going to be in the kingdom. He's going to wear out the saints, but don't worry. The saints will possess the kingdom. Okay, but tell me more. Tell me more. That's what Daniel wanted to know. He wanted to know more. And he gave Daniel, told him everything he wanted to know. This guy is going to speak great words against the Most High. He's going to wear out the saints, and he's going to think to change times and laws. What laws? The laws of God, brothers and sisters. The laws that God gave Israel. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath. The laws of God, the feast days, holy days. Now we have holy days. He took the name holy, took out the word Y and put the word I. Holidays. Contrary. Just as trifling as you could imagine anybody to be. And they're going to be given in his hands until this. When they say he's going to be given into their hands until, that means he will, because it says he's going to prevail. He's going to make war with the saints, and he's going to prevail. The earth is going to be given into his hands, not now, when it happens, until a year plus 2 more years and a dividing of a year, 3.5 years. That is what is going to happen. That's what he is trying to show us. That's everything he's trying to show us. Now, you know what I want to do? I want to go over here to the book of, let's see where I want to go at. Let's go to Daniel. Daniel. We're already in Daniel, but we're going to go over one more. Because what he shows Daniel is the transitioning of power. Oh, yeah. He shows Daniel. Right here, Daniel the 8th chapter. I want to put it in here that way in case I need to go back. And Daniel the 8th chapter, he tells Daniel, because Daniel got some understanding. But here we are in the 3rd year of King Belshazzar. Another vision appeared unto Daniel. After that which he appeared unto me, the first one. That's the one he had in the 7th chapter. And what Daniel saw, and you can read this on your own, he sees how the transitioning of power takes place between the first kingdom, the second kingdom, and the third kingdom. He sees it all, leading right into the fourth kingdom. He sees it. He saw how there was a ram that had 2 horns, and 2 horns were high. The one was higher than the other. See, now he's into the Medes and the Persians. That's what he's into. Because Daniel lived through the time of Babylon until the Medes and the Persians took over. That's why they call them the Medo-Persians. Because one horn was longer than the other. The ram had 2 horns. Why? Because the kingdom of the Medes, who came in through Darius, although they were with the Persians, that kingdom of the Medes was a very short time period. And that's why the ram, who is a part of Persia, or the Medes, who were a part of Persia, that's why he had 2 horns. One was larger than the other, or higher than the other. That means the Persians' time in charge was longer than the Medes. And you can read that in history. So they had 2 horns. I saw this ram which had two horns. Two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last, which means the Persians came after the Medes. And you can read in the scriptures, and that's the way it was. And then he says, I saw the ram pushing westward, northward, southward, so that no beast might stand before him. And when you read the history of the king of Persia, oh, they ruled very strongly, very strongly. So that no beast, and we know what beasts are, brothers and sisters, they're kingdoms, because he told Daniel that these four beasts are four kingdoms. Nobody was able to stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. And he did according to his will and became great. But then what he saw a goat that had a notable horn between his eyes, a notable horn. That is Alexander the Great. And we know that because that it was notable. That's why there's a lot of notoriety about Alexander the Great. Now, Alexander the Great did not live past his 30s. Very young, he died. And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him with the fury of his power. And I saw the ram close unto the ram, and I saw him, being the goat, close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, anger. And when you read history, this is Alexander the Great, who studied under Aristotle with four of his young friends who became a part of his generals. The reason why he was upset with the Persians, because they killed his daddy, Philip. Yeah, they killed him. And he smote the ram and broke his two horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. We're going to skip down before that, because what happens is the goat waxed very great. That's why they call him Alexander the Great. He was strong. The great horn was broken. Alexander died. Some say he died of a fever. Some said he died this way and that way, but he died. You can read in the encyclopedia, it tells you how Alexander the Great died. But after him came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven. And those four, that means Greece, when they took over, they broke themselves up into four areas, operated by four generals. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south and toward the east and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground and stamped upon them. Now this is talking about that horn that is coming up. Because what about it? Listen to what he does. He magnified himself even to the prince of the host. And by him, listen to this, the daily sacrifice was taken away. And the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And a host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression. And it cast down the truth to the ground. And it practiced and prospered. This is Rome. Rome, brothers and sisters. Because they went into the holy city and tore everything down. Listen to this. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, he says, listen to this, how long shall the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of the desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. That's a key word right there, brothers and sisters. To be trodden underfoot. How long is that going to be? How long is his time going to be? How long is this fourth beast going to be in power? Listen to what he said. And he said unto me, until 1,300 days, and then the sanctuary is going to be cleansed. So then Daniel says, I got to get some understanding here. Listen to this. It came to pass when even I, Daniel, had seen the vision and sought for the meaning, then behold, there stood before me as the appearance of a man. And I heard a man's voice between the banks of Ulai, which called and said, Gabriel, make this man understand the vision. So this is why Jesus says, whosoever readeth, let him understand. So let's read. So I came near where I stood, and when I came, I was afraid, and my face fell, and I fell upon my face. And he said unto me, understand, O son of man, for at the time, listen to this, for at the time of the end shall be the vision. The time of the end, the time of the future. So it will behoove us to hear what Gabriel has to tell Daniel. So listen to this. Now, as he was speaking with me, I was in a deep sleep on my face toward the ground. But he touched me and set me upright, and he said, behold, I will make thee know what shall be in the last end of the indignation. This is why Jesus said, whosoever read, let him understand. For at the time appointed, the end shall be. Now listen to this. He says, listen, you know that ram that you saw having two horns? Well, guess who they are, Daniel? They are the kings of Media and Persia. Wow. This is deep. Because when you read in the encyclopedia, it tells you that Babylon was overtaken that night when Belshazzar acted up. They were having a feast. See, the encyclopedia says, they were having a feast, their annual Saturnalia. That's a form of Christmas. They were sitting there drinking and having just a good time. And the encyclopedia says that the Medes and the Persians, when the water went down, they came through a tunnel because there was a great wall that surrounded Babylon. And they had a river that went through the walls. So what they did was they went through the water and came in. But when you read the Bible, it just tells you he was acting up that night, and he saw handwriting on the wall and says, you've been wanted. Tonight you're going to die. And that night, the scripture says he died. And Darius took over. And Daniel sat under Darius. So he says, that ram which you saw that had two horns, they're the kings of Media and Persia. And that rough goat, well, guess who that is? That's the king of Grecia. That's Alexander the Great. And the great horn that is between his eyes, that's the first king. Alexander was the first king of Greek. Now that being broken, because he died, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in this power. And none of them had the power that Alexander the Great had. Listen to this. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when this is talking about Greece, when the transgressors are come to the fore, a king of fierce countenance, understanding dark sentences, shall stand up. That's Rome. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. What else is he going to do? He's going to destroy wonderfully. How do you destroy wonderfully? See, when you read about what happened in the Spanish Inquisition, how if you didn't accept Rome's theology, a lot of Hebrews, if they didn't accept the Christ that they put on the table, you were burned at the stake. Oh, yeah, he destroyed wonderfully. Everybody thought it was for a good cause. And shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And he did. That's why you got to read the Spanish Inquisition. A lot of Hebrews died. And listen to this. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. Oh, just read about Rome, what they did through Catholicism. Oh, they went about destroying, setting up a mission, brothers and sisters. See, you got to read. Whosoever shall readeth, let him have understanding. Oh, he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. And he shall also stand up against the prince of princesses. But guess what? The scripture says he shall be broken without an army, without hand. You know who's going to do it? The Lord's going to do it. How do we know? Because Revelations, the 6th chapter, says that when that 6th seal is open, oh yeah, when that 6th seal is open, the sun and the moon and the stars and the constellation stands before that great and dreadful day of the Lord. Who shall be able to stand? And the kings of the earth are going to mourn. Oh, when Jesus comes, when he comes back with his saints, oh, that's not going, this guy is going to go down hard. And Daniel said, I was so sick. Afterward, I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it. This was a lot for Daniel to swallow, brothers and sisters, but he got it. He understood. He got it. I mean, it had to come to him. Let's go over to Revelations real quick. Revelations, the 6th chapter. I think I have it here. No, I don't. I'm going to go over here and call it up. Right here, Revelations, the 6th chapter. Because, see, this is what we're doing tonight. We're getting some answers tonight. We're getting some answers tonight, brothers and sisters. Because we want to understand. Because when this first seal is opened up, that's when the abomination of the desolation is going to stand in the holy place. Remember they said he's going to practice, he's going to speak great words, and things are going to be given into his hand for 3.5 years, according to Daniel. Well, this is how he's going to come. I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him had a bowl, and a crown was given unto them. He went forth conquering and to conquering. This ain't Jesus. This is the false prophet. This is the same prophet that before Satan gets into the lake of fire, he's going to make it. This is why when people say, well, we're in the second seal. No, you're not, because the first seal ain't been opened. Well, right now we're in the third seal in the world. No, you're not, because the first seal has not been opened. No, we're in the fourth seal. We're in the fifth seal. No, you are not in no seal. It hasn't been opened. And it hasn't been open because he's not standing in the holy place operating as if he is God. Oh, he's doing it now, but he's got to do it in the holy place, in that third temple. And that hasn't happened yet. Listen to this. In verse 12, when he opens up the 6th seal, that's when the earth quake, the sun shall be black as sackcloth of hair, The moon became as blood. The stars fall from heaven. And you know what happens after that, because heaven is going to depart as a scroll when it's rolled up. And the kings of the earth are going to mourn. Because that's what he told Daniel. Oh, the fourth beast, he's going to be in charge, but don't worry, the king, the saints are going to possess the kingdom. Don't worry, Daniel, they're going to possess the kingdom. Let's go back over here for a second. I want to read something else to you. We're going to go to the 11th chapter of Daniel, because you see, Jesus says, whosoever, as spoken of by Daniel the prophet. Oh, Daniel talked about it a lot. We're going to go over here to the 11th chapter of Daniel. See, this is where we got to read. We got to read Daniel the 11th chapter, because Daniel really brings it out. We're going to start with verse number 33. Listen to this. 33. That's where we're going to start at. Let's go up to verse 31. Listen to this. 31. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place, listen to this, and they shall place the abomination that make desolate. In other words, he's going to be placed there. He's going to be invited to be there. Why? Because he speaks great words with flatteries. They're going to place him there. Listen to this. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries, signs. That's why we talked to this lesson tonight. It's titled Signs of the False Prophets. False prophet. It's going to do wickedly against the covenant and shall corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God, they're going to be strong and do exploits. Why are they going to be strong? Let me tell you why people are going to be strong when this man comes. Because some people are not going to make it to the wilderness. And I got my theory on that, but it's just a theory, but I'm going to leave that alone. Some people are not going to make it to the wilderness. But then all of a sudden, when they go back and start reading this, because, see, some people say, it's time to go, It's 400 years, it's time to go. No, it ain't time to go nowhere. Oh, these are the plagues. We got to get out of here. These are the seals. No, remember, the seals don't open up until this guy is in the holy place, operating as if he is God in the third temple, which has not been built yet. So, but when everybody don't get it, because I'm going to tell you something. You know what's going to make people frustrated? They're going to give up and say, man, I'm tired of hearing this. I'm tired of y'all Hebrews. First you said that we're going to have our own kingdom. Then you said Israel is not the real holy land and we got to go back to Africa. And then you said that America's going to be destroyed. And right now, this man is in place and he's speaking great flatteries and he's doing things and he's fooling everybody. I'm just confused. I'm just confused. Y'all said we're not going to heaven. You said we were supposed to be raptured off and we're not raptured off before the tribulation. I'm just confused. And there's some people, I don't even know where they are. That's one of me. So you ain't going to know where I'm at. You're going to be looking for me. You ain't going to find me because I'm going to be in that wilderness. So people just going to give up and they're not going to even want to go to the wilderness. They're going to say, listen, didn't y'all say we supposed to go to Israel? Didn't the group go over there to that place in Israel and they treated them so bad, they're treating them bad today, and they went over there in the 60s and that was supposed to, we going back to our homeland. Child, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not getting out of here to no wilderness. Yeah. See, those are the people That I believe those individuals who just so frustrated because they don't know, they're not going to go. But then when they see things happening, they're going to become strong. Because they're going to know their God. And they're going to say, listen here, don't take that mark. Don't take that mark. Whatever you do, don't take that mark. Well, they're going to behead you. Let them behead you, because if you're beheaded, there's going to be a place for you in that first resurrection. Don't even let them do it. Don't even let them break you down like that and do exploits. Listen to this. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yeah, you're going to be here 3.5 years. You're going to listen. We should have listened. There's some people in the wilderness. We can't even get there. We just here. They're going to instruct whatever they're going to be instructing many. Whatever you do, do not accept the mark of that beast. And they that understand among the people shall instruct many. Yet, although you instructing people, they shall fall by the sword and by the flame, by captivity, and spoil many days. Now, when they shall fall, they shall hopen with a little help. They shall be hoping with a little help, but many shall cleave to them with flatteries. A lot of people just going to go on the other side. And some of them of understanding shall fall, to try them and to purge and to make them white even to the time of the end. Why? Because it is yet for a time appointed. And the king shall do according to his will. He's going to have 3.5 years. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. This is the part that we want you all to get and understand, so you can get some understanding that this guy is going to do whatever he wants to. Listen to this. And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself. He's going to magnify himself above every god. And he's going to speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. Let's give you a sign. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women, nor regard any God. Why? Because he's going to magnify himself above all. This should be a key right here. Don't even have the desire of women. See, this is something, brothers and sisters. See, even understanding this, you got to still get some understanding. Let's go back. Let's go back to Daniel, the 8th chapter. I just want to read 2 verses back over there. Daniel, the 8th chapter. I want to read just 2 verses over there. We're going to read verse 24 and 25. Listen to this. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. Listen to this. He shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. He shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princesses. But he's going to be broken without hand. Don't worry about it. He's not going to last long, brothers and sisters, at all. He's not going to last at all. Now let's go over here to Revelation, because you see, John got a little bit more understanding. And I'm going to read this and I'm going to stop after this because I told you I want to give you a little bit tonight. And then we're going to come back on Friday night and give you the rest of the story. But I want to go over and read Revelation, the book of Revelation. Because you see, this is all explained. Remember, Revelation was not written, so Jesus referred you to Daniel. But what Daniel was doing, he is solidifying what John is doing in the book of Revelation, he is solidifying, he's confirming Daniel's vision. So let's go over to the 13th chapter of Revelation so we can look at this. Revelation, the 13th chapter. And I think let's pick it up in the first verse. Listen to this. Because I want you to understand how Daniel is getting this. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Why is this beast that he saw had 7 heads? Because, brothers and sisters, Daniel saw a lion with 1 head. He saw a bear that was 2 heads. Then he saw a leper with 4 heads. That's 6. And then the 4th beast had its own head, and that's 7 heads. Because what Daniel is seeing, he's seeing a totality of ideology stand upon one beast. And that's the 4th beast. And that's why he had 7 horns, or 7 heads, and 10 horns. Because remember, the 4th beast had 10 horns. And upon his horns, there were given 10 crowns. And upon his heads, the name of blasphemy. And listen to what he says. See, this is why when we go back over here to Daniel, let's go back over here to Daniel, the 7th chapter, for 1 second. Remember, Daniel says, remember he says, these great beasts, which are four kings that shall rise out of the earth in verse 17. But let's go count their heads. Listen to this. Let's go count their heads. How many heads in totality that all of the 4 beasts had? Listen to this. The first was like a lion. That's 1 head. Okay? Let's look at the second. And another beast, a second, was like a bear. That's 2 heads. So the lion and the bear, that's head 1, head 2. But check this out. After this, and lo and behold, a leper, check this out, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl, but the beast also had 4 heads. So if the leper has 4 heads, and the lion is 1, that's 5, and the bear is 1, that's 6, and then the beast is 7 heads, because you remember that the 4th beast had 10 horns come out from among it. Right here. It was diverse and it had 10 horns. Now let's go back over to Revelations and read this. The beast I saw, this is the beast that he saw coming up out of the sea. That means out of the sea means from among the people, among the earth. It had 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his 10 horns, 10 crowns. Because remember in Daniel, he says those are 10 kings. Those 10 horns are 10 kings. That's why those 10 horns have 10 crowns. And listen to this. Remember in Daniel, we saw a bear, a leper, and a lion. Listen to this. And the beast that I saw was like unto a leper, and his feet was like a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And guess what he got his power from? And the dragon, Satan, gave him his power and his seat and great authority. This is why this is important to look at, brothers and sisters. Very important. And people in verse number 4, I'm not going to get into the first head being wounded and all that. I wanted to see where his power came from. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave him power unto the beast. How do you worship Satan? When you do everything Satan says. 7 days not the Sabbath, it's the first day. That's what happened when he came to Eve. You should not surely die, as he said. He knows the day that you eat of it, you're going to know good and evil and live forever like he do. See, that's how Satan works. And they're going to worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they shall worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? But listen to this. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. Isn't this what we just read in Daniel? And power was given unto him, because in Daniel it said for a time, times, and a half of a time. That's 3.5 years. Well, check this out. Because John is not saying anything different, brothers and sisters. Power was given unto him to continue 42 months. Well, let's find out how that long that is. Well, 12 months is in a year. That's a time. 2 years is 24 months. Times, that's 3 years. And a dividing of time. So if you got a year, 12 months, and another year, 12 months, that's 24 months, and another month is 36 months, and a half a time is 6 months, where 36 and 6 is 42 months. That's 3.5 years. The Bible, he just said it differently. That's all. 3.5 years is 3.5 years. 3.5 years is a time, times, and a half a time. It's also 42 months. And what does he do? That's how long power is going to be given to him. That's how come when we read Revelation, the 6th chapter, when the first seal is open all the way to the 6th seal, it's only 3.5 years. It's not all of our lifespan. Well, back in the 1900s, we were in the 4th seal, and today we're in the 5th seal. See, this is when people are talking off the top of their head. And you got to be careful. That's why Jesus said, whosoever read, let him understand. So people are trying to interpret end time prophecy by just reading the book of Revelation. You got to go back to Daniel. Because you can't understand Daniel. You can't understand John in the book of Revelation until you understand Daniel. And Jesus, when he was asked the question, when shall the end be and the sign of thy coming, he told you to go back and read Daniel. So we got all these theologians who pay for all these doctorate degrees and go to seminary school. They trying to interpret and figure out and guess and conspiracy think end time prophecy by reading the book of Revelation, when John is getting all of his interpretation and he's confirming Daniel. Listen to this. And he opened his mouth for how long? 3.5 years. He opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Meaning he's going against all of the whole heavenly host, brothers and sisters. And listen to this. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. Didn't Daniel tell you that? And didn't Jesus says that there's going to be a time like you've never seen before? And to overcome them. And power was given unto him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. You're not going to be able to escape this because power is given to him over all kindreds, all people, all nations. He's running things for 3.5 years. And listen to this. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. Well, we mean all. Well, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. There's a lot of saints who's going to get caught up in that tribulation because they don't get to the wilderness. They're not going to worship him. But the whole earth is going to worship this guy. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life. And then he says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. That's so important. If you got an ear, let you hear. Let's skip down to verse number 11. Listen to this. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Listen to this. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them that which dwelleth therein, to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. In other words, those policies and all of those practices are going to come right back, because that's what he does. And guess what he does? He's going to do great wonders in that time. What's he going to do? He's going to make fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Oh, he's going to do a lot of different miracles. He's going to be a person that has a lot of breakthrough. He's going to have a person that has a lot of flatteries, a lot of answers. And deceiveth them that dwelleth on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they shall make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. See, this is going to be something here, brothers and sisters. Oh, this is going to be something here. Well, guess what? We're going to pick this up on Friday night. Got to save some. Got to save some. Got to save some. Shout out to Brother Julius in the chat room. Yes, brothers and sisters, it's going to be a time. It's going to be something, 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 something. Many already worship him and don't even know it. That's what Brother Julius said. Many people already, they are. Christmas, Easter, first day. You can eat anything you want to. It's all about love. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Just call upon his name, brother. Do you believe Jesus? I mean, you go to the mall in the parking lot, and you'll see people out there. They call themselves witnessing, and they go grab people. Hey, brother, can I bring you unto Christ? And they say, yeah. They say, listen, all you have to do is confess. Do you believe that Jesus is the Son of God? And you see people out there, yes. Do you believe that he can save you and he came to give his life for the sins of the world? Yes. And he did. And they're going to say, all you have to do is call upon the name of the Lord, brother, and you are saved. So just pray and they'll hold your hand and confess to me, Jesus, and they repeat, and I love you, and Jesus, I believe that you're the Son of God, and you came and died for my sins, and Lord, I love you. Sir, you're saved. You're saved forever. Because he says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved, and you're saved, brother. And then they'll come up to you and they says, oh yeah, we brought thousands. In 1 week, we brought 1,000 people unto Christ, unto salvation. We saved 1,000 people this week. See, this thing is dangerous, brothers and sisters. This is dangerous, dangerous. Whew, dangerous. So, what we have, whosoever readeth I got to end back where we started, and that's in Matthew, and we'll pick this up on Friday night. Matthew 24. And they asked him privately, tell us, when should these things be? What should be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? And he told them, there's going to be prophets, wars, rumors of wars, nation against nations, famines, pestilence, earthquakes, all that stuff going on. You can watch the news tonight and maybe Russia and China going at it. Maybe Turkey and Israel going at it. Oh, it's going down. No. All of these things is just the beginning of sorrows. That's all it is, brothers and sisters. Because this gospel has to be preached as a nation. It's got to be preached into all the world for a witness unto all nations, and that's what we're trying to do. But when you shall see the abomination of the desolation, spoken by Daniel the prophet, and we read it in the 7th chapter, the 8th chapter, the 11th chapter, we read all about him, which led us over to Revelations, the 13th chapter. When you see him stand in the holy place, whoso readeth what? Go back to Daniel. Pick it up in Revelation. Let him understand. And when you see that happen, brothers and sisters, there's going to be a great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. That's why he says he's going to make war with the saints and going to prevail. Nor ever shall be. And except he shortens those days, and he does, only 3.5 years, but there's going to be a lot of people who's going to die. There shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, he's going to shorten those days to 3.5 years. Isn't that something? You even know how long it's going to be. Remember they talk about that statue? And he's going to make fire come down from heaven. He's going to do all of that. Listen to what he says. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. Don't even go for it. Listen to this. We're going to pick this up in Thessalonians, see what Thessalonians says, what Paul wrote to them. But listen to this. After the tribulation, as he told John, don't worry, the saints are going to possess the kingdom and shall take it. But I want to know about that fourth beast. Don't worry, the saints are going to possess the kingdom, because immediately after the tribulation, the Son of Man is going to appear, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet. And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other, from one end of the earth to another. That's what it means, from one end of heaven, from all of the regions. He's going to grab everybody that his names are written in the Lamb's Book of Life. You got to be in that number. You got to say, who are these? We're going to talk about who those people are on Saturday night. Brother Harold Ferguson is in the chat room. How you doing, my brother? Yeah, Brother Julius. They say, hey, we want you to say the sinner's prayer. Brother Julius, Brother Jeremiah is going to be teaching tomorrow night. Put his topic in the chat room. Brother Jeremiah will be teaching on the balm of Gilead tomorrow night. Tune in right here on this channel at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We will have Brother Julius, Brother Jeremiah, the Balm of Gilead radio show, and the lesson tomorrow night. Brother Julius is getting ready to put it in the chat room. While he's doing that, don't forget this Sabbath at 9 o'clock a.m., we'll be taking a number of people to the Atlantic Ocean right here in South Florida, city of Hollandale Beach. I-95 and Hollandale Beach Boulevard, go all the way to the ocean till you can't go anymore. When you get off at I-95, just go all the way east on Hollandale, go all the way to the ocean. You'll run right into the ocean, which leads you to a parking garage. Park there, come out to the beach to the right. That's where we'll be at 9 o'clock a.m. this Sabbath morning as we do baptism. Can't wait for that, brothers and sisters. Brother Julius, what's the topic for tomorrow night? Brother Jeremiah, Brother Julius, those were the first two brothers from the Israel of God that came down from that came to Bethel. The first two teachers that Pastor Bowie sent, and he's been sending teachers on a rotation basis ever since. And when COVID is over, we're going to pick it up. Jacob and Esau, that's the lesson tomorrow night. Jacob and Esau. You want to tune in tomorrow night right here on this channel, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be tuned in to the Balm of Gilead radio show with Brother Julius and Brother Jeremiah, Brother Will, Jacob and Esau brought by Brother Jeremiah. And last week we tuned in to Pastor Bowie, awesome lesson. Brother Peter Clark will be our teacher for the next 3 weeks. He's going to be teaching a series on Pentecost. And of course, on the day of Pentecost, on that Sabbath, we will be tuned in to Pastor Bowie live right here on Bethel BHG TV. As I was saying, Brother Jeremiah and Brother Julius, they were the first two brothers. They came down and Pastor Bowie sent them for about 3 or 4 days. We had a great time. And Elder Melvin came down. Brother Antoine came down. Brother Sidney has come down. Man, if I start naming people, I'm gonna leave somebody out. But when this is over, when COVID is over, we're gonna be right back on that rotating list to get somebody, one of our brothers, to come in and just teach. And of course, you might see me traveling to an Israel of God near you. All right, brothers and sisters, a great lesson that we had tonight. Had a good time tonight with all of you all here. We're going to get out of here, and we're going to be playing from Dallas. I believe it's Dallas or Houston, Israel of God. Over in Texas, we're going to be playing The Hem of His Garment, and then we're going to be playing a sister that I came across her music, Sister Hadara, Renew Me. And after that, we will see you all tomorrow night. Thank you for tuning in right here on this channel. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow night, same time, same channel. Be blessing to all of you all. Oh, I got to say prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you tonight. Come in the name of Jesus, asking you to look upon all those that are sick, all those that need healing, all those that are studying for your word, that you open up our minds and our hearts, that whosoever readeth, let us understand. We ask that you continue to be with us throughout this COVID and in these last days. Keep your guardian angels around us. These things we ask and pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Peace and blessings. I'll see you tomorrow night.
just touch the hem of his garment, if I could just see the man of Galilee, if he would just say the words, I know I would be healed. The man of Galilee, touch the hem of his garment. If I could just touch the hem of his garment, I shall be made whole. For faith I have in thee. The Son of Man has come to seek and save those which are lost. Oh, dear Lord, deliver me and set me free. Set me free. If I could just touch, if I could just touch the hem of his garment, ooh, if I could just see the man of Galilee, if he would just say the words, I know I would be healed. The man of Galilee, touch the hem of his garment. If I could just kneel at the throne of glory, if I could just lay myself down at the heels of his feet, if I could just feast my eyes on the Holy One who died for me, if I could just touch the hem of his garment, yeah. If I could just touch the hem of his garment, if I could just see the man of Galilee, if he would just say the words, I know I would be healed.